Hey guys, is your marketing budget kind of like the bass player without a girlfriend? Homeless? Is your marketing budget creeping in the middle of the night only to stay on your couch, wake up at about 11 a.m., clear out your refrigerator to leave unexpectedly? You know, Homeless. Is your marketing budget standing on the corner over by your local taco shop with a sign around their neck saying anything will help? Guys, I'm Tim Schmidt, and today I want to cover one simple topic: how to market on a budget. Now, just because you have a budget doesn't mean it's zero. A budget could be $10,000 a month, $50,000 a month. The key is to have a budget. If you don't, let's talk marketing on a budget. And I'm going to cover just a handful of ideas, things you can do that are going to be simple to execute, cost effective, affordable, but yet get results for you, right? And these are going to be a handful of ideas then and strategies that you can use right away today. But here's the thing. We got to start with a little bit of mindset. If we don't have the right mindset going in, it doesn't matter what budget or where you put a message. We got to have some sort of a mindset behind what we're doing when it comes to our marketing strategy. So a couple of little key things I want to talk about. A few might be on a local Minnesota level and might not fully connect, but I'll bring the point across, okay? So a few examples are going to be definitely local to Minnesota, but for any listeners or viewers that are out there, I'll bring it all home for you. So why do I say your marketing budget standing on the corner saying anything will help? The first thing about the mindset in marketing is that everything should help type mindset is bad. Let's not think about our marketing plan as anything can help, right? And we have to have a strategy. We have to have a clear, defined voice. Think back to when you were in high school or college, or even think back to a job where you had a coworker that tried to pretend to be somebody they weren't, right? They kind of had the cool kid club. You knew who the cool kids were and what made them popular. And you had this other guy or gal in the background that was kind of trying to mimic everything the cool club was doing. And they just fell short every time. Guys, you'll only be the second fiddle to the best person out there, right? So always find your voice and who you are. Be the best you that you can be. And there's a local gentleman here in town. They call him Gingy Man, and he's stretching his shirt out, and he's got a big G on his shirt. His name is Jeremy Salisbury with H&S Heating. But this guy, why I like him, is he knows his voice. He knows who he is. He knows his message. It's clear, it's concise, it's simple, happy and satisfied, right? And all that he has to do is, once he knows who he is just put his message out there. And I'm going to talk about some key strategies, some to which he's doing, some that he's not. But here's the other thing. When you know your voice, you also understand you can't capture everyone, right? He gets a large market share. He's definitely doing a great job in his marketing. However, not everybody relates to his message, right? Somebody that thinks that message is fantastic, the other person thinks it's incredibly annoying or unprofessional or, not safe enough, right? But there's a larger mass of people that follow what he's teaching and follow what he's doing and look to him and know, like, and trust Jeremy for heating and cooling systems, right? So that's kind of a big key, is you can't capture everyone, but know your voice and attract the audience that you want to attract, and be willing to say no to business when it just doesn't align with your voice and with who you are. Um, and also post-pandemic, people don't really want despair. They're looking for hope. They're looking for connection. They're trying to be connected and tied in. Um, they also like to help out, right? So if you're new in business, no better time to talk about being new. I like to say, who did you root for, right? When we were looking at when we were watching the movie Rudy, right? Who were you rooting for? Rudy, Rudy, Rudy. Why? We vote for the underdog. We love the underdog. And if you can play the underdog card, play it. Don't be victimized in it, but celebrate the fact that you're taking on this new opportunity and you're going out and you're looking to earn business and earn their trust, right? And so you can do some really colorful, great, creative messaging around that voice, as long as you know who you are. Don't try to pretend to be great. And also, don't do safe advertising. Be very vulnerable and transparent. I've had clients come to me and they express from the depths of their heart why they do what they do, and the passion spills out and their mission spills out. And I'm totally drawn in and I'm captivated by their message. And I'm like, man, if I could just help you win. And I say, just if for whatever reason you could write that down for me, put that on paper, make that a blog post, put that in a video. And sure enough, they do. And they send it to me. And it says something along the lines of, We use the state-of-the-art equipment and the finest technology and world-class blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, what happened to the transparency? What happened to your voice? What happened to you? And I want to reach across and strangle them and be like, why not be transparent? It's because they're being safe. And if your ad, if your radio ad or your visual ad could be taken and you could draft it up and remove the name of your company and take your logo off and replace it with another logo and it still makes sense, you're probably being too safe. It's okay to use your voice and not be so safe. So, I mean, what does this have to do with anything when it comes to a marketing budget and marketing, with a plan? And it comes down to this. If your message is not focused, if your message is not clear, it's just noise. It's just light. The light that fills this room right now, the light that's amidst me, is completely harmless and only serves one purpose: to help me see, right? And it's okay, it's good, it's not bad, it's here, it's relevant, but it's not focused. Now, if I take that same light and I focus it down and I tighten it up, I can cut metal with that same light in this room. Your marketing message has to do the same. It has to cut through the crowd. It has to cut through the noise, and it has to stand on a platform of its own, right? And so that's what we're trying to accomplish. That's what we're doing. Let's see here. We've also got a quick little story I wanted to share with you. Marketing post-pandemic, marketing during a pandemic, marketing in general as an underdog on a budget. I want to take you back to the 1930s. There was a little company out there called Procter & Gamble. Some of you may know them, some of you may not. But I do know that you've heard of Ivory Soap. Now, Ivory Soap started in a building in New York just before the Great Depression. Great Depression hits, fast forward, here's what happens. They had to decide, are we going to continue to sell candles or continue to sell soap? They sold both, but they chose to focus on soap, okay? And they cleared their message down. They dialed it in really sharp and really tight. And here's what they said. They said, it floats. Now, why is that important? Because back in the 1930s, they still took baths, right, in a clawfoot tub. And when they dropped the soap in the water, it disappeared under the bubbles. Well, it was hard to find the soap. You're digging around, ruffling around your hands. Well, here's what they did is they said, it floats. They created Ivory Soap. The soap floats. That's very convenient. You let go of the bar of soap. You finish washing up. You grab the soap off the surface of the water and you go. Then they did a really clever thing. They went ahead and started sponsoring every radio program they could when it came to radio drama and radio theater. And radio drama and radio theater was huge. People would sit in their living rooms and the families would gather and they'd listen to these radio dramas. And what was really cool and creative about this was that everything was brought to you by Ivory Soap. Now, television, fast forward, comes along, right? And they started continuing to do the same thing. It was successful then, keep on going, right? So they started sponsoring TV dramas, mid-afternoon TV dramas brought to you by Ivory Soap, Procter & Gamble. And the message continued on. Now I go visit my grandmother at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I say, Grandma, what were you doing? Well, I was watching my soap. And I said, my soap? Well, yeah, Days of Our Lives or whatever it is, right? It used to be sponsored by Ivory Soap. It's still related to this day to soap and a soap opera, soap business, right? So that's where that comes from, Procter & Gamble. All that they did was they stayed consistent with a message, even through the most troubling times. They narrowed and focused their appeal to their audience, and they became very creative in putting their message out there and staying consistent with it. So I think that's fantastic. Let's get into the nitty gritty here. So, all right, let's talk about marketing on a budget. Below this video, you'll find a link that you can connect with me on, and I can send you an entire marketing calendar. So it's a spreadsheet. It's a template that you can create a theme. You can create a promotion, and then it gives you all of your free resources, places that you can advertise free or things that you can do for free marketing wise. And then below that, it's all of your paid traditional mediums. But I do want to deep dive kind of down into the traditional mediums because we're still in a budget. We're not saying everything. How do you market for free, right? Because free marketing still does take a lot of work, and it's not necessarily always free. But I am going to go into the traditional. And here's a couple of things to remember when it comes to your marketing on a plan. Try to get 2 years in front of, or 2 months, I'm sorry, try to get 2 months in front of where you are today. I have so many clients come to me and say, hey, Tim, next week we're going to run a promotion and I just don't know where to start and how I'm going to market this. That's too soon, right? That's too soon. Try to get yourself where spontaneous marketing, yes, great. Social media, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, all of these things you can do on a whim, right? And your social media should clearly be set up so that it's kind of your day in the life of. It's the transparency of who you are as a business or as a business owner, as a product or a brand. It's definitely showcasing the transparency and humanizing your product and brand, but then mixing in some promotion and mixing in some education as well on top of that. But it should always be very spontaneous, so that it feels natural, it feels entertaining, and it feels good to view and follow your business. No worse than saying follow our business and you jump on there and there's no activity on there, right? It's okay if your business isn't utilizing all the social media, but if you're going to, continue to keep it spontaneous and entertaining. Sorry I deviated away, but I think it was normal and natural to talk about that real quick. Take your plan 2 months out. Start, today is July. Start thinking about September. What are you going to do? And if you're thinking September, I'm going to talk about back to school. It's a little bit late. August is kind of there. So start thinking September, October, fall tradition, and get yourself out there. If Vogue magazine came to me today, or Vanity magazine, or any of these, right? People magazine, and they said, hey, next month we're running into an issue. We don't know what to put in there. I would be like shocked. I'd probably just drop down dead, because they're planning their magazine already for next fall. Because here's the thing, they don't report the news, they create the news, right? They don't report the newest fad, they create the fad. And so that's kind of what you have to do with your marketing, is you have to position yourself in front of your audience as the voice and create the need for your product. Create the void and find people to utilize your service. I love the movie Music Man, because in Music Man, he says, we got a problem here. It's the pool table. The pool table's a problem. So everybody needs to be in the band. We need a band. Get the kids out of the pool hall. He created a problem. He sold the music. And that's why he's an amazing individual and a great musical. Love that musical. Anyway, all right. So plan. Here are 4 traditional marketing mediums that can be very affordable and built into a budget. Number 1, my favorite is, I shouldn't say favorite. All 4 of these are my favorite. Number 1, billboard. Love billboard. Think of yourself driving into St. John's or a college campus if you're not from around Minnesota. Think about driving into the Rock Stadium or Twin Stadium or New York Yankee Stadium. When you get there, how do you know that you are there? There are banners everywhere, right? Everywhere. Welcome to Johnny Country. Welcome St. John, St. Ben's, whatever, right? It's everywhere. You can't help but know you're there. Billboard does the same thing. Billboard also shows that you're very established in what you are doing, right? And billboard can be done from as low as $500 plus some production a month. Sometimes it can get upwards to $1,000, just depends on how you do your rotation, but it can be very, very affordable. And it's putting your message out there that you are here to stay, you are an established business, and you can partner and pepper your ads all around town. Love billboard. It's visual, it's awesome, and it's great. Very affordable. Direct mail is another one of my go-tos, because there was a company called Retro Green Energy. They were Chris Ferolke was running into a situation in the Pantown area of St. Cloud. They were finding that these homes were still insulated with old newspapers, right? How amazing. So what he did is he targeted that neighborhood, did an every door direct mail campaign, and talked all about newspaper in the walls and how they could come out and fix that with Retrophone. How amazing. Do you think it was a success? Heck yeah. And now they had a great follow-up plan and did more than just send out a direct mail piece, but they were consistent in their message. They did a great job in their campaign, and I'm sure it paid off for them, which is really great. But that's targeted, every door direct mail, $350 to $1,200. You could go all the way up to $3,500, but you can send out a direct mail piece affordably and split test different things that you're talking about. But in your message, one thing that I want to say is make sure that you're talking about the things that you want to sell. I've had people come to me before and say, I sell woodworking, but I also have this laser engraving. All I talk about is woodworking. I don't know why people don't know about my laser engraving. And I simply say, have you ever talked about it? They say, no, not really. Well, take 2 months to just talk about laser engraving, send out that direct mail piece, throw up a billboard, and you'd be amazed at how many calls you get and how people will start to associate you with woodworking and laser engraving. You just talk about it, right? When I was at Rejuve Medical, 1 month we were talking about weight loss. The next month we were focused completely on non-surgical orthopedics. The next couple of months we were focused simply on aesthetics and so on and so forth. Guys, you just talk about certain pieces. That's why the marketing calendar is so good, to create a theme and put a promotion behind it and then execute all of your strategies throughout. Okay, that was 2, billboard, direct mail. Number 3, I really enjoy radio. And radio is one of those that people say, gosh, there's no way that we can do it affordably. Oh, yes, there is. A lot of local markets have what's called a value connection, or kind of like a shop and save or radio marketplace, where you exchange goods for a discount and you have kind of this couponing. Well, as a business owner, if you have $1,000 product that you sell or service, and you find a buyer that says, I want that $1,000 service, you tell them that we are going to exchange those goods on the shop and save or the value connection or radio marketplace, and you go ahead and purchase them through there. You're going to buy it for $750. You're going to save $250 or $750, and I'm going to get the $1,000 service. Okay. As a business owner, it might only hard cost me $150 to $250. Now I get $1,000 advertising credit for $250 exchange of my services. I have a happy customer who got a discount, and I've also got radio budget to work with that's far greater than throwing a full $1,000 bill at it, okay? Because we're exchanging. It's kind of like a trade without trading. It's really, really nice to be able to do that and extend your radio budget further. So if somebody comes to me and says, I can only spend $5,000 on radio, I'm going to look at how can I get that through a radio marketplace budget so that we can extend that $5,000 to $15,000, right? So we can get more out of our dollar. Okay, so radio is fantastic. I love it because it reaches a large cume audience. A lot of people can hear one message really quickly, but the point there is stay consistent and exploit habits. I'm not going to get into that. I've got other videos on that, but exploit the habits of people and really be targeted and focused on your radio message. You can always reach out to me and ask questions if you want about that. And finally, YouTube. YouTube is a fantastic way to advertise right now. I grew a business, I helped grow, I should say, a business in the medical field purely on Facebook ads. And at the time it was $5 an ad and we'd reach 15,000 people. And it was amazing success because no one was doing it yet. YouTube is still kind of in that category. For 100, 150 bucks, 200 bucks, you can reach a pretty nice size audience, but you have to be really targeted with that first 5 seconds of your video. So that's kind of the first 4 go-to traditional mediums that I feel a person can do on a budget. Focus on one or the other, or mix an audio like a YouTube or radio with a visual like a billboard or direct mail, and you'll get more out of it because you're passing that message through the synaptic gap of visual cortex and audio cortex and so on and so forth. So I'm not going to bore you with the details. But the main thing here is have a plan, right? Execute the plan, have a plan, and have that traditional side to it. All right. The last thing I want to cover is when you're doing marketing, observe the masses and do the opposite and focus on relationships. You can never go wrong with relationships. If somebody's just getting started out and they're wondering what to start with, every customer relation that you have, every customer transaction, find a way to get a Google review, a Yelp review, whatever industry you're working in, whatever your area does the most. For us here in Minnesota, it's Google. Get a Google review. Find a way to do it. Make it so easy for someone to leave you a review that they do it while you're meeting with them, right? Click this button, go to my website, click on the contact us, click on Google, leave a Google review. You all could do it right now. Matter of fact, I'll probably put a description down below. You can leave me a Google review if you'd like. So that's you got to make it simple, and you got to ask for it. Most people don't ask for it, and I don't know why. They give you this great, you have a great transaction with them, and then you don't ask for the Google review. And find ways to have fun, create images. If you create like a big poster or something that people can stand in front of and take a picture, and you get their permission to post it on Facebook or social media or somewhere like Instagram, right? or Pinterest. If you get their permission, yeah, let's do it. Let's talk about it. But make it easy for people to tell their story about the experience they had with your business. The easier you make it for people, the more success you'll have. Because every time someone posts that, or you can tag that friend on the social platform, you're reaching their sphere of influence. And that can be anywhere from 500 to 1,500 people locally that are going to see that. And if Bart or Martha knows me and they say, hey, Tim, I just saw that you had a great experience at this place. Tell me about it. I'm thinking I'm in the same boat, right? So it starts the conversation. And there's nothing better than having conversation move very quickly in your community about your business. So the more you can do that, the better, and focus on that. And remember this, when you're spreading your message and when you're telling your story, remember that not everybody needs your service today. There's a customer life cycle to everything, and not everyone is ready to buy now. But it's everything that you do leading up to that point when they finally say, you know what, enough is enough, or hey, I absolutely have to have this. There's a need and a void, and you can fulfill it. It's everything you said leading up to that that makes them buy with you. So always be reaching out to them and find ways that you can go back to them and continue that relationship, because there's no better place to start than with the people that already know, like, and trust you, and ask for those reviews. So one last thing that I'd like to cover is collaborations. If there is a business that's in town that you could collaborate with, for example, you're a carpet cleaning company and you're cleaning 150 homes every single month, and you always leave behind a shampoo and a brush and a do-it-yourself kind of carpet cleaning kit, your business card, a Google review card, and a leave behind with other services that you could do. How could you partner with, say, 5 or 6 restaurants or a couple of businesses that would make sense, that you can go to them and say, you know what, Mrs. Jones, I know that you own this restaurant and I do a leave behind. Would it be of value to leave a $5 gift card in every basket that I leave as a home as a customer thank you? That business owner, restaurant owner would probably say, yeah, you can have $5 gift cards. I'll give you that, because that means they're going to spend, $55 at my restaurant. Yeah, by all means, here. And they're going to give you these cards, and you have a stack of $5 gift cards that you add to that basket. Creates value for your customer. It's a nice leave behind. And now the next time that restaurant owner needs their carpets cleaned or needs their restaurant cleaned, who are they going to call? The guy that's promoting them. Because every time that $5 gift card comes in, they're going to go, wow, he sent another one today. That's just amazing, right? And they're going to give back, and it creates camaraderie and community. Well, I hope that gives you just a few tips, a few nuggets about how to market on a budget. And guys, if you have any other questions, by all means, I'm a brand ambassador. I love talking about businesses. I love talking about success and finding ways to get your message out there better. Reach out to me at any time. Just go ahead and contact me, tim@agency511.com. Call me, text me, any way that you can get a hold of me, and I'd be happy to help. Also, if you'd like that guide, again, it's available here. And I want to leave you with one thing. Remember, success is not measured in the amount of money you make, the material possessions you own, though they are good. But true success is measured in the number of lives that are better off because you lived. With that, over and out, guys. Keep it real and keep your bob around the water.